welcome. We are here for Ashley's Heart Song, and I am your host, Ashley Torian. This is the place, y'all, where we get out of the stress and back into our body, our life, and our business. When we tap into the song of our heart, that is when we master the mind and the stress that can steal our life. Welcome to today's show. This is one of an episode that is tacking on to the previous few. So if you are at this show and this is your first show, go ahead and watch it. But then I also encourage you to watch a couple before, because we've been speaking to the place of not overdoing it, the overwhelm, and then the place where we can go into slow. And a lot of golden nuggets were given in that. And then today's show is about not falling into the insanity syndrome every time you go to plan out your year, schedule in goals, dream big. We want to not fall into that insanity syndrome. And so this show is going to give you some helpful little tips around that. But first, before we go any further, let's check into our vitality today. How do you feel in your vitality? Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Where are you physically today? Let's just take that physical component of your vehicle. The vehicle that is driving you around in your life. One way that we can see if our vitality score in the physical arena is low is, are we the driver or is the body driving us? If the body is driving us, then that means that our vitality score is going to be low. There's going to be low energy. Your body's not going to feel good. It's going to feel run down. Whereas when we are the drivers of our body, then our vitality score is higher. So where are you with your vitality score physically today between a 1 and a 10? Are you fatigued and tired, or do you have plenty of energy to walk through your day? That's going to get you closer to the 10. So these scores are between 1 and 10. Next, we have our mental. Mentally, where are you? What is your score today between 1 and 10? 1, you are mentally fatigued, or 10, you feel mentally on point. Put your number down. We're going to tally these up together in just a second. Emotionally, we're moving to your emotional brain. Where are you emotionally between a 1 and a 10? Are you emotionally moody and edgy? That's going to be around the 1 to the 5. Or do you feel emotionally balanced? Peace. That is going to get you closer to the 10. Then the final area is spiritually. Spiritually, where are you today on the vitality score? Are you disconnected? Feel a little lost? Feel like you're going at it alone? That's going to score you between a 1 and a 5. Do you feel connected? Did you take time this morning to get into alignment? Did you take that time out to just connect and be at ease? You're going to score closer to the 10 on that. So write down your score for the spiritual vitality. And then let's tally them all up together. High score is 40. As you know, this is a no judgment zone. So this is strictly information to let us know how we're doing. And if you are watching the show live, then you know that right now is the holiday season. We are 10 days from Christmas. And typically, the body can begin to feel a little, it's either running on a really high buzz or it is crashing and burning. And we don't want that to happen. We want to be able to flow through the holidays with ease, with grace, with peace, with harmony, with fun, with energy and vitality. We want all that. So how can we do that? And we do it by releasing, getting rid of what doesn't serve us and moving forward with everything that does. And today's show is just about that. So we are looking at setting goals for the new year, the new quarter, the last half of the year, the last final month of the year, whatever it is, wherever you are on your journey and you are dreaming, you're visualizing, you're setting goals. One of the things that I want to ask you down is ask you first is, are you doing the work required on a daily basis, maybe a weekly basis, a monthly basis, a quarterly basis? Are you doing the work? And what I mean by that is, are you doing the work on you so that you can reach that goal? Because reaching that goal is not about everything outside of you, it is about everything inside of you. And if we go to work on a goal and to make it come true, we are looking at things typically that are outside of us. We are looking at food choices. Let's say if we are wanting to lose weight or get in a particular level of shape, then we will do all of these numbered calculations, right? So what are my macro amounts or calorie amounts? Maybe you're counting calories, which I never recommend. I don't even recommend calorie counting macros. You just need to make sure you're getting in plenty of protein and essential fats. But when we go to look at all of that, and you're going to weigh yourself, you're going to measure yourself, you're going to exercise this amount of time, you're looking at all of these components of weight loss, of losing fat. Maybe you're beginning to meditate. Maybe you're going to start a yoga. Maybe you're going to start Qigong, and you're looking at all these different components of health and how you can get in the best shape of your life. Typically, we go, yeah, I'm doing the work. I am making sure that there's only healthy food in my fridge. I'm making sure that I am working out the required number of days that I had put down on my goal sheet. I am doing deep breathing exercises. I'm doing this, and it's all of this stuff that we're doing and we're working. But my question is, are you doing the work that's really going to make the difference in all of those things that you're doing externally? Are those, is doing all of that going to make the difference and you reach that goal? Meaning this, if you come into setting that goal of health for the new year and you have down exactly all the different components of health that you're going to do, but you show up with last year's baggage, last year's belief systems, last year's failure at being able to get into the shape that you wanted to get into, failure at anything. If you're carrying those patterns forward into the new year, going, okay, this year I'm going to do it. I am going to get it done. And you hadn't done the work to get rid of those belief systems, the failures, the patterns, then this year's not going to be any different. That's called the insanity syndrome. When you expect that, okay, I'm going to do it this year, you expect everything to be differently, but you're showing up in the exact same way. That's insanity, because you're going to get the same results that you always got before. So what can we do in order to move ourselves forward and really elevate this year, this next year that we're moving into, this next quarter that you're moving into, this next half year, whatever you are working on in your goal category, get rid of the past before you move into the future. Because if you continue to bring the past with you into the future, you're going to wind up with the same results you've always wound up with. All of us do it. We are all human. We're all human. And it happens. But what if this time around, what if we decided, okay, I am going to let go of one pattern. I'm going to let go of one pattern that has always held me up. That one pattern of eating late at night. What if I broke that one pattern of eating late at night, released it, resolved it, processed it, went through all the work, which I'm going to go through all the steps with you in a minute. What if I did all that and then I started working on my goals, my health goals for 2025, wherever you're going, 2024, 2027, whatever it is. Look at that. If you changed one pattern, if you got rid of one belief system, if you let go of one failure that you had previously, imagine the changes that could take place when you started goal setting and working towards those goals. amazing results will come your way. Amazing results. So, how do we do this? However, do we do this? Well, first, there are 4 things that must transpire in order for this whole process to take place. First off, you've got to process the past. If you're not processing it, if you're not digesting it, so to speak, then it's going to be unsettled in your system. It'll be stored and it'll become a pattern. So we want to process the old out. We want to digest it. And it's so interesting. Typically, when we think of digesting something, it's usually food and it's going through our digestive system. But what about our thoughts, our feelings, and our belief systems? If you're not digesting those, then they're just going to stay stored in your body and wreak havoc on you in the future. So we've got to learn how to process the experiences that we currently have. Really process, put them in order is what processing means. We put it in order. How do we put things in order? We work out the kinks. We realize, oh, that's a belief system I have that I need to go through the resolving of that. And that's step 2. Step 2 is resolving. Once we have digested it, put it all in order, then it's time for us to resolve any pattern of emotion, any pattern of chemistry that shows up, any feelings around it. We resolve that. And the way that we resolve it is by allowing our subconscious mind to dump the chemistry out into our body. And it does that whenever we think back on it. The chemistry's dumped, subconscious mind goes, oh, I remember how you felt when that happened. Here, let me just dump that chemistry on you again. And here the chemistry comes. And then if you've done any coaching with me or any workshops with me, then you have learned how to resolve. And if you have not attended any of those with me, reach out to me so we can do that together. Learn how to resolve your emotions so they're not stored on your body, in your tissues, and in your organs. We want to release and get rid of those. So we resolve those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions that were triggered by that past experience, by that pattern, by that belief. So that's step number 2. We resolve it. We get rid of that chemistry. We get rid of the connection to our subconscious mind so it no longer phases us anymore, is a really easy way to put it. And then we want to go through a forgiveness. We want to forgive. A forgiveness process is a beautiful process that we humans can participate in that will truly help us to let it go. There have been some things that have happened in my life that I carried a lot. And every time I would think back to that situation or the person or whatever it is, I would just feel this, this angst within me. And that wasn't healthy. And carrying around unforgiveness in our heart is not healthy for any of our organs, any of our tissues. So take it through a forgiveness process. There are many beautiful forgiveness processes out there. And again, if you do any release workshops with me, then you know how to do the forgiveness process. And it's very simple. It is a very simple process where you're just releasing the transgression that you've held tight to. And you're releasing the person, you're releasing everything. And it's this beautiful little prayer. I do a spiritual release process. You may find another release process out there that speaks to you, but a spiritual release process where I know that I am guided through is always a beautiful thing. And then once we have forgiven, that is when we are completely releasing everything that is not needed in that one area that we just took through that process. You've completely released it. And in releasing, that is such a beautiful place where you can journal and then burn it. You can do a meditation where you visualize it and then release it up. You can do a releasing in so many beautiful ways. And that may sound like a lot, As you are listening to me, you may go, I don't have time to do all that. Y'all, a complete releasing of old things can take anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes to half an hour to an hour to 90 minutes, depending on however long you would love to take with it. You can do it just like that, or you could take your time. Doesn't matter. The idea here is for us not to carry the baggage of old on us when we are wanting to step into new possibilities. When you are stepping into new possibilities, you want to be free of the past. You want to be free of those things that can jump on your back and make you heavy and make your steps sluggish, bring on fatigue. And when that fatigue sets in, what do? We don't follow through. When fatigue steps in, what happens? Our physical body, yes, the fatigue, but then what happens to our mind? It gets fatigued as well. Then what happens to our emotional center? It gets stinking thinking. And then what happens to us spiritually? We get disconnected. We're not designed to carry the burden of our life on our back. It's not the way we're designed. We are designed to be free. We're designed to be light. We are designed to be a body of harmony. And if we continue to carry, then we're just going to get heavier and heavier and heavier. And your body begins to hurt. Your joints begin to ache. Food begins to not sit well. And that is all inflammation. And inflammation in the body creates dis-ease in the body. And none of us want to feel that way. None of us want to feel that way. So what happens if we don't do this? What happens if we don't take the time? Well, if you're one that has never taken the time to do this, then look back on your life and you will see the result of it. I didn't do this for years, y'all, until I clued in. And then when I clued in, it was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Well, yeah, I want to do this. I want to be freer. I want to be lighter. I want to be harmonious. So what about you? What about you? What have you done in the past? So you may witness, when you take that kind glance back on your life, you may witness the insanity syndrome have popped up. That's so common, where you show up newly and you think everything's going to be different, but it's not, because you're doing it the same old way you did before, and you're going to get the same result that you did in the past. Whereas if we release those things, then we do things differently. We show up differently. Another thing that I wrote down in my notes to be able to share with y'all, that if you don't do this, then you're going to love this one. The old patterns will continue to rule. So in the area of getting healthy and increasing your vitality, and let's say there is a pantry diving experience that happens in the evening time, maybe you just like to late night snack right before you go to bed. That old pattern is going to stay with you until you take it through the process, until you release it or process it. You process, you put it in order. You resolve the emotions attached to it, the feelings, the thoughts attached to it. You resolve them. And then you forgive. In an instance like that, sometimes we got to forgive ourselves, y'all. And a lot of the processing, a lot of the release processing that we do is typically around forgiving of self. Forgiving that you didn't show up really in the way in which you wanted to. Forgiving yourself for not following through. Forgiving yourself for blaming others for you not elevating. Forgiving yourself. of what you mucked up. That's hard. That's really difficult to do. But until we do that, those patterns of old are going to rule. Another thing that I wanted to share with you is that you won't reach your goals. And if you reach your goal, you'll lose it because the old pattern's going to come up, right? When you won, oh, I won, champion, I did it. Once that happens, the old pattern is going to go, oh, really? And the old pattern will come back. You people who have lost the weight, gained the weight, lost the weight, gained the weight, you know what I'm talking about. You lost the weight, you felt good. It was like, yay, this is awesome. I've never felt so good in my life. And then what happened within a year later? The weight's back on. Why? The old pattern. You didn't take it through the process. You didn't take it through the process. We got to process through things, put them in order, resolve, forgive, and then release it. That's what it's about. That's what our journey on this planet is about. So beautiful. So we don't want to keep mucking that up, y'all. We want to lose the weight and lose it for good. We want to get to that level of vitality and strength and keep it. We want to elevate in our businesses, have them expand and grow, multiply, and not lose it. We want our relationships, the love of our hearts, to continue to blossom and grow and not get diseased and disintegrate. We want experiences in our life that are fulfilling. But as long as our old patterns are carrying on our back, it's not gonna be as fulfilling as you would love. There's gonna be some baggage, guilt, frustration, anger, shame, you name it, any of those fear-based emotions. And they cause fatigue, unrest, misalignment, dis-ease in the body. So what are you going to do this go around? Are you going to let go of some things before you start setting those goals, envisioning what you would love? Are you going to get to work and really do the work every day? Are you going to do the work every day? That's what we do when we armor up. When we armor up for the day, that's what we're doing. We're doing the work so that we don't continue to carry the burden of yesterday, but we move forward with lightness of being, possibilities, seeing what's next, waiting with anticipation for the beauty and the blessings to unfold. That's what it's about. And we're human. We're going to mess up. We're going to mess up bad sometimes. Sometimes it won't be messing up quite so bad, but it could be bad. And then other times we will succeed and it will feel so good. And then we might trip, maybe step off the path. We're human beings, y'all. So what do? We process it and put it in order. We resolve, we forgive, and we release it and let it go. Then we get back on it. We get back going again. It's a simple process, and one that when we use it on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, quarterly basis, however you want to do it, I believe in armoring up every single day, because there's a world out there, y'all, that is filled with fear, and that fear seeps in unless we do something to arm ourselves, to bring the light in so that nothing else comes in. And it is up to us, personal responsibility for that process, for armoring up yourself, because anything that happens to you in this life, it's up to you. It's up to you. It's in your power, whether you let in the yucky stuff or only fill yourself up with the good and march forward with the good. It's all a power of choice. And I've done a series on that, Your Greatest Power. And it is in the first part of season 2, maybe right at after a third of season 2 of Ashley's Heart Song. You can catch that there. I did a full series on your greatest power. And it truly is. It is your greatest power, is your power to choose what's going to happen in your life. Are you going to let in the yucky stuff? Or are you going to keep that out and only bring in the good? It's our choice. It's all a matter of perspective. What's your perspective going to be moving into your new goals, your new dreams, your envision that you have? What is your choice? What are you going to choose? Release and let go what doesn't serve you and move forward with what does. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Ashley's Heart Song. I look forward to you joining me next week as we continue to armor up our lives. I'll see you then.